Hi everyone, my name is Lainey and this is my draft recording for my online course. I wanted to start by showing you my course map, which gives the content that my course contains, which is teaching addition, the standards, and also my learning outcomes, which are set up based on the modules. So I have 7 modules. In the first module, it's broken up into 2 parts. The first part consisting of my digital citizenship lesson, which came from a kindergarten standard by commonsense.org, which is the idea of media balance. And then the second part going into the introduction of addition vocabulary. Module 2 is using how to solve addition equations using your fingers. Module 3 is using manipulatives and objects, and in this lesson it'll consist of virtual objects or manipulatives. Module 4 is solving equations using drawings. Module 5 using equations, solving equations using a number line. Number 6 discusses how to write addition equations horizontally and vertically. And then Module 7 is the summative assessment. In my course map, I have the link for my curation and the link to the Google Classroom that we will use as our online platform. So here is my Google Classroom. On the stream page at the top, there is a link to the course map for students and parents to access, and also a link to the curation of resources that they can have access to as well. Most of the links that are in the curation are also linked in the module, but some are not, and so they may need to access the curation resources in order to complete that. Looking at classwork, Module 1 is the digital citizenship portion at the beginning. Everything is labeled with what module it is. It has instructions on how to begin and what to do and in the order they do it in. Here there is a Nearpod presentation on media balance that they would access, and then they would use the Google Jamboard that we created to use the sticky note feature here in order to contribute to class discussion. So the next part on the checklist is talking about the LATs, which is listed also in the course map. And so the parts of the LATs that I use in this online course are viewing presentations, which can be found in modules 1, 3, and 6, answering questions, which is where our quizzes take place. There's a Kahoot quiz that's in module 1 dealing with addition vocabulary, and then a Google Forms quiz in module 4, which is about halfway through the course, and then of course the summative assessment using Google Forms in module 7. The idea of creating a video activity is found in module 4 and in module 6. And then of course taking a test is in the final module of Google Forms summative assessment. If we look at my curation, I used Wakelet. This was a program I learned last semester, and it's pretty user-friendly. It gives you different options for organizing, and this is where parents and students can go to find all the resources they need to complete the course. It gives the name of the course, the standards, of course, that were also in the course map, and our learning outcomes, as well as a link to the Google Classroom. And so I have it organized horizontally in columns, beginning with Module 1. Over here, you can see all the different links for the media balance discussion in the Google Jamboard, the Nearpod presentation. Here is the Kahoot for the addition portion of the module, as well as Canva, because in that first module they will use Canva to make vocabulary cards and flashcards. And there's also a video link where I provide discussion for the different vocabulary words that they are being introduced to. The same goes for Module 2. You see we have different activities. This is a drag and drop activity. This is a PDF of an addition graphic organizer that they're going to use to help them understand how to add with their fingers. Module 3 has a screencast video where I demonstrate how to use the virtual manipulatives in didactics.com, as well as an addition practice activity at iknowit.com, which is interactive and also gives results that can be sent to you. Here's Module 4, a Screencast-O-Matic, another PDF graphic organizer that they will use to add with objects. Module 5 has a YouTube video as well as an image that they can use as a reference for a number line. Module 6 is another Nearpod discussion page, which is a recordable discussion as a feature in Nearpod where they can answer by recording themselves. It also contains a YouTube video they can use for reference to just help reinforce what they're learning. And then, of course, Module 7 is the Google Forms quiz. Like I said, when it talks about online discussion activities, Module 1 is the media balance where we have the discussion, and then this is the recordable discussion that's in the Nearpod in Module 6 where they can record their answers. In the assessments, these are the results of my assessments that I give. The first, of course, was the Kahoot, more like a game assessment in Module 1. Then about halfway through in Module 4, the Google Forms, and then at the end, the summative assessment that's in Google Forms as well. So I have all of my results here. As far as the online learning assessments, or the assignments, sorry. If we go back to the Google Classroom, this is where once they are done with the first part of the digital citizenship to Module 1, there is the addition part to Module 1. And so in this section is where they will use the link to Canva in order to make flashcards. And so I provide them the link to some example flashcards that were made in Canva to show them just exactly which words they need to be studying and which words they need to make for their flashcards. Here they are, just some examples. Then they can either print these or they can share them virtually with each other. They also, in this lesson, which is the online learning assignment, they use the Kahoot game quiz after watching and learning the vocabulary. Module 3 is my other online assignment. This is where they're learning to use manipulatives. And so I have access here. They'll start by watching, it's linked through YouTube, but it's a screencast of me giving instructions on how to use the manipulatives at didax.com that they can watch, and then they also practice that. So they have the link here to didax.com to do that. This is the iknowit.com activity that they practice, and then once they feel comfortable doing that and using the manipulatives and using objects to add, they create a screencast to demonstrate their understanding using Screencast-O-Matic. So in Module 5, this is where students are learning to use a number line. This is a lesson that gives an example of how I changed the accessibility or provided some accommodations. The class that this course is designed for is an inclusion class, and even some of the students that were represented in my assessment data are students with an IEP and IEP accommodations. And so they're provided with a visual, if they need it, of the number line that they can print and use. All of the graphic organizers that are PDFs are printable as well if they need hard copies in order to refer to. They are also given the option to use a partner in order to gain that kind of support, peer partnering. They're given different ways to access and practice in each module. They're provided, like in Module 2, they have several different Google Slides that are drag and drop activities where they can practice adding. In Module 3, they're provided the virtual manipulatives and the online practice lessons. In Module 5, they're provided with the image of the number line to use as a reference. In Module 6, they're provided with some extra practice of demonstrating and seeing horizontal and vertical addition. So the next thing is just my reflection. I've never actually had to teach in the virtual setting. My school system was blessed to not have to completely shut down once the initial shutdown for COVID happened, and so we quickly returned to the classroom. And so my course map has been edited and revised several times with every assignment that we were given. What I initially thought I was going to use changed somewhat as I looked at other students and peers in our course and the resources that you all provided. I've learned a few new resources from this course, so I'm thankful for that. And I'm still learning new resources today. So let me know what you think.